Hey there, and thanks for watching. In this video, I'm going to be talking about some misconceptions that I had about the FIRE movement at the beginning of this year and what I've learned since. If you're new to my channel, then welcome. I make videos about personal finance, getting out of debt, living frugally in order to achieve financial independence while still being true to your own personal convictions and respecting what's most important to you. I believe that life is so much better when you're not worried about money. I also believe that it is possible to live free of financial worry and stress. So if you too are interested in living a life of financial independence and freedom, please give this video a thumbs up and a like. It's a huge help to me and my channel, and it doesn't cost you any money, and it's a way to make your views count. Okay, so let's talk about misconceptions about the financial independence movement and why I started talking about this on my channel. So I didn't come from a background of earning a high income. I didn't have a high salary. I was an English major in college, and my first job after graduation was in publishing, so I never really expected to have a high salary. This channel is my exploration into learning more about financial management, personal finance, and financial independence. But at the start, I didn't really think that financial independence was a goal that was achievable for me, and therefore I really wasn't interested in the financial independence retire early movement at the beginning of my financial journey. This is where the misconceptions start and come in, because what changed my mind was meeting someone at actually a real estate meetup group of all places. And this person really encouraged me to take another look at financial independence and to re-explore it, even though at the time I wasn't earning a high income. I'm still not earning a super high income, but he really encouraged me to take another look at what I was able to do with the money that I do have. So that's the background and what got me reinterested in FIRE to begin with, and it brings me to my first misconception. And my first misconception was that FIRE is only achievable if you do have a big income. So misconception number one is that financial independence is only achievable if you have a large income. The reality is that you can achieve financial independence on any income, because it's not the amount of income that you make, it's the amount of income that you keep. So I will say this, and I've said this before, that you can be making the lowest salary and manage to save 50% of that salary, or you can make a super high salary and still manage to overspend that by 50%. So it's not so much the money that you make, but it's what you do with it that really counts. If you make a smaller income, then you're used to living on a smaller income, and therefore it will take a smaller income to sustain that life. Misconception number two is that you must save a massive amount of income, like 70 or 80% of your income, and you can only live on that little tiny 20%. That's a misconception, because you can work toward financial independence saving any percent of your income. It's all about your timeline and what timeline you're expecting to achieve. So right now for me, I'm projecting to reach financial independence in 10 to 15 years, saving roughly 35 to 40% of my income. Now this is a huge projection because who knows what life events are going to happen in the middle of that, maybe positive or negative. You might have a job loss, you might have a huge bump in salary, you might have medical expenses, or you might receive an inheritance. There are all these different factors that come into my financial independence calculations, but on the whole, I'm working toward financial independence in a way that is achievable and sustainable for me in the long run. If I wanted to get there sooner, I could certainly save 80% of my income. But right now, it's more important for me to live in accordance with my convictions and to spend where I want to spend. I could shorten that timeline for sure by saving more, but right now I'd rather enjoy the journey just a little bit rather than get there all that much faster. Misconception number three was that financial independence means no luxury items ever. And kind of like I mentioned in number two, saving a massive amount of your income. If you save more, you'll get there faster. Yes, but you can always kind of adjust your journey and the speed at which you're going to reach your destination in order to accommodate things that are important for you in the moment. For example, it's really important for me to A, spend time with people that are around me, and B, to be able to travel with the people that are around me that are important to me in the timeline that fits my life right now. So that's something that I prioritize over saving a higher amount. So again, my speed will vary, but the destination is still the same. Misconception number 4 is that financial independence means never working again, meaning you won't ever be earning an income. And that's just not true, because you can always earn an income, and the more income you earn, the more choices and flexibility you have in your life. Financial independence as a concept is just the idea that you don't have to work. Your expenses, your daily living expenses, will be covered by your passive income. Misconception number 5 is that there's only one way to do FIRE. There are several communities out there on the internet that will tell you that their way is the only way, and if you're not doing it their way, then you're not doing FIRE. You're not doing financial independence, retire early. The reality is that there are several different ways to work towards financial independence. It's called personal finance because it's personal, and it's a journey that you are on for yourself with a destination that you decide. So for me, I've decided that my destination is financial independence, and I'm using my own strategy to get there based on the wisdom of people who have done it before me. So 2, 3, 4 different ways that I've just learned about in terms of financial independence. Some different variations on the journey to financial independence I've just learned about this year are things like Fat FIRE, which is for those people who have those big incomes that are deciding to save a massive amount and live on a small amount and to get there that much faster. But there's also a concept called Lean FIRE, which is for people like me who have smaller incomes that are saving still a significant percentage, but not as much as someone who's going radical to get there in the shortest amount of time. So that's Lean FIRE. I've also heard about Barista FIRE or like Coasting FIRE, and that's where you save a whole lot in a short time, but then keep working to keep adding to that savings. So there are tons of different variations on the whole idea of financial independence. And in these days and times, really, if you're retiring before any point before 70, the age of 70, you're still going to be considered retiring early. And I mean, 70 is young. That's still, for me, I still consider the age 70, 75 to be super young. So again, it's all relative, and there is more than one way to get to financial independence. So tons of different definitions for the word early. I just have to say that. So retire early. Early is totally relative too. Which brings me to misconception number 6, and that is that financial independence, retire early, is only for the young, meaning like the 20s, just graduated and just starting their working life and kind of filled with that enthusiasm and vigor of youth, and that FIRE is only for those people. That is a huge misconception, because just like learning can happen at any age, financial independence, retiring early, can happen at any age as well. You are always able to learn and to grow financially at any age. There is no limit on learning, and there's no limit on what you can work toward in your life. Will you see different returns if you're younger? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that if you're over the age of 20s, if you're not in your 20s anymore, you can't work towards retiring early. That is completely false. And I gotta say, that's something that I believed, and that's what I had to kind of dig inside myself and rearrange my own beliefs about money, that it was too late for me, that I didn't earn enough, that I would never get there, that I liked doing too many things like traveling, and that I would never be able to achieve this goal because of all these factors above. Really, that's an excuse. And misconception number 7 is that you can only do FIRE if the market is quote unquote for you. If you're getting in right at the right market, so that would be kind of like a bear market going into a bull market, so getting in low to go up to the top, which, by the way, if you're waiting to get in low, like now is the best time to get in on the market and to see the highest returns, because everything's on sale. But I want to address the overall myth is that financial independence, retiring early, depends on the market. Sure, will certain market factors play a part in your ability to completely retire? Absolutely. But that shouldn't stop you from doing what you can with what you have right now. And that for me was the biggest lesson, because to be honest, I would look for any excuse to not do what I know I needed to do with my money. So rather than hanging on to those excuses and using them, I challenged myself to find a reason to do the things that I know I wanted to do ultimately, to save that money rather than spending that money, and to put it towards something that will ultimately work for me rather than the other way around. So all that to say that yes, market factors will for sure play a part in your timeline, but that shouldn't stop you from doing what you can. Those have been my 7 misconceptions about financial independence, retire early, and the things that I've learned over the course of this year. Again, I aim to keep learning and to share what I'm learning with you, because I find this fascinating. So I thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. And again, if you haven't already, please give this video a like. It's a huge help to me and my channel, and it helps kind of keep the financial information coming. So once again, I thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And as always, I hope you will keep watching. Bye.